Yo, what's guys, on fire here, back on the video, and today we're going to be hopping into another Madden 23 offense. Today we're going to be going over the gun tight formation. Now, I had a lot of suggestions for tight, a lot of suggestions for tight offset tight end. It really depends. They're both close to identical. It's a difference here and there, but personally I think that this tight formation is going to be just slightly better. If you guys do want a tight offset tight end video, of course I can bring you that. Also, before we get into the video, make sure you guys drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below for more everyday Madden 23 content. You guys have been killing it, and I've been dropping a lot of good videos, so make sure you check out everything else I've dropped for good defenses and offenses. Now, gun tight formation. Why are you seeing your favorite players run tight? I know Noah runs it. I've seen a lot of guys run it. Dreeny I've seen run. You've seen guys like Dubby. He runs tight offset, but why is everyone in tight? What's so special about gun tight? Why is everyone doing it? I was realizing it. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking that. What's so special about this formation? I'll just explain why everyone's in it, but before, let's get some background. It's going to be in the Detroit Lions offensive playbook, and Detroit Lions is going to be very good because you have wide trips tight end, bunch, and bunch, and also tight. So if tight's not working, you can audible to 4 different really good formations. Now, the plays that I like in here are going to be PA slot cross on the right. You have slot post there in the middle. You have bench on the left, which you can't see, which is a very, very, very good play. And then PA slot options on the right, it's decent. You have base in the middle, which is going to be your important run play. And then drive corner on the left. So there's a lot to like here, and we will dissect it play by play. Let's just start out in the bench play, actually. I'll also show my audibles after that. Now, we're going to be going up against man blitz. Why are we going up against man blitz? It's because it's all I play, and it's really what the meta is on defense right now. Send 6, the sheds are good. Someone will get home with how bad the offensive line blocking is. We're not going to loop blitz because I want to show these plays with some kind of time, but we're going to send 6. Now, basically defensively, we're going to pinch the defense, and you notice that's going to press everybody. It's going to press the slot corner along with our 2 outside corners. Now, why are we going to press? That's the way you run it. Now let's actually go back to our main point of why we're running tight. And it's going to be because no one gets pressed. You see Juju, he's not going to get pressed. And I'm not shaded over the top. I'm nothing. I'm just pressed normally. So these guys should all be jamming at the line of scrimmage. It's regular tight, and you will notice here that nobody is going to press, and everybody just runs their routes business as usual. So that is why tight is ran by everybody. For a short answer, it cannot be pressed. If you audible to a gun bunch, you will see it does get pressed, and that's your short answer of why everybody is running it. You see Juju get pressed, you see Valdez-Scantling on the left get pressed in that scenario, and you don't want to get pressed because when you have split seconds to throw the ball, getting pressed is going to take up just half of those seconds, and then you have such a slim margin. You have to be perfect, and tight, it just allows you to have more time for these routes to develop downfield. Corner routes, they take a decent amount of time, and if they're pressed, you can't throw them. So, simple answer. Now, bench is a really good play. Probably the best way to beat man coverage this year is going to be through the corner routes. So, especially if they're pressed, it's going to be beneficial for you guys, and you are just able to let these guys win on their routes and throw it almost on the break or after the break. Because of how bad the possession catches are on the sideline, generally it's the better idea to throw it as soon as they get open, especially with the potential of someone getting free. If they are not pressed, you usually can still throw it. I'm not sure why Kelsey just decided not to catch the ball there, but you see burning man coverage consistently, and it's not just because we have Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey is good, but it is because we have, you see Juju. He's not exactly the fastest guy or the best receiver. He's like an 82 overall, and he's still getting open every time. So it does show you that it works. Also, it's showing a scenario where you have a backed off man coverage example with Kelsey, and then I just jammed one with Juju, and they both work. Now, let's say they get sick of it. They want to try and do something. What are they going to do? Maybe they bring down Eric Rowe. I'm not sure what the scenario would be, but maybe they try something like that, and it's not going to work. In fact, the only way that they're really going to stop you is just getting a lucky shed. The running back blocking in this game is pretty terrible, and you saw another example of that right there. So, look at him just not blocking, and it's crazy because it's not an outside linebacker, it's not a slot corner, it's not a looper, it's just a middle rusher linebacker, and he's just not doing anything, but like he consistently blocks him to begin, and now all of a sudden he just doesn't do it, so it's weird. Apparently he can block the left linebacker, but you see this play is frying consistently. Now, let's say he's just sending 7, or he's sending 6 and hovering. What are you going to do? Now, I would probably leave some of these guys. What you can do is go with Valdez scaling on a little slant route, block your running back, and then you can actually motion this player over and block him. So you can run something like this. I like to motion snap him because it's just going to be a little bit more consistent, but that's going to give you another man beating route. And again, the slants are going to work pretty well in addition to the corner routes because they're not getting pressed. So when it's pressed, it's not as good, but I mean, you can do a lot of different things. Let's say we want McColl on the slant. What you can actually do to block Valdez scaling is you can motion him a step and then snap him right there. So he's going to be able to block the edge rusher. So if they are sending a slot corner off that left side, that is a really good way to block. And the blocking schematics are going to be identical in tight offset. Again, I can provide you a separate video on that if you'd like, but you just motion them out like that, and now you have max protection and you're able to throw a slant. Both corner outs are open. And again, if he's sending 6 to 7 people, no matter what, one of those guys is going to be open. He can't put that many zones on the field if he's sending 6, 7 people. He cannot put curl flats on both sides, hard flats, and still be able to use the middle of the field. And both, you just cannot do it. And if you're able to switch him from sending 6 to 7 people to 4 people, you'll take that. Now, if you want to just go out and completely try and send everybody out, get some quick reads, you can run something like this where you send CMC or Edwards-Helaire on a route and you do that. But I just like to max protect. Those corner outs are your best bet, and that is why bench is a really good play this year. Now, let's move on to the run play. It is important to mix in the run. This base is going to be pretty dang good. Now, we don't have the best running back here, but the base is going to be really good this year. And that's something that tight offset doesn't have. Tight offset does not have a halfback base because it's an offset formation. You have an 0-1 trap instead and an inside zone, but the 0-1 trap sometimes also gets picked up by edge blitzes. The edge blitzers will just get through so fast that you're handing it off and you're tackled by a dive from behind by one of those guys. So this base is going to be kind of your best bet, and I think it's a better running play. Personally, you see how you can just kind of cut through, just really easy. Don't hold turbo immediately, so you let your slow right guard develop, and I mean, just really simple schemes. It's just a very clear thing to do, especially if they're in 3-3 or any spread out formation like a 1-4. You want to run the ball, dollar, pound the rock against it, and you will have very good success. So that is really it for base. I mean, you can also do things like motion out just to throw them off, and I guess, I don't know if motion changed it, but you will have runs like that where someone just shoots through immediately. If that is the case, don't be discouraged and just not run the ball the rest of the game. I still want you guys to run the ball a good amount, and again, there will be outliers. It's fine, just stick with it and it will pay off. So that's it for the base. Now we have a couple of other plays. Of course, I like bench the most. I will switch to zone coverage for a couple of these plays just to show you guys what it looks like. Let's actually show a quick cover 3 defense against bench. Just a basic cover 3 defense, and we'll just run it kind of stock here, and you will see that the wide side corner outs against coverage are not going to be good. It's going to be kind of tying it back to Madden 20, where the short side corner outs against cover 3 are going to be a little bit better. So against cover 3, and of course having a clear out is definitely going to help because the outside thirds do a really good job of playing this guy, but you see you still have enough space there to catch it, whereas in the wide side of the field, because the outside third has more space to jump on it, he is just able to completely undercut it and you have no chance at even clicking on and making a play. So I mean, if you really want to, you can just streak him. You can also motion him out, and then since it is zone coverage, you can either put Edwards-Helaire on a route like that or just drag Valdez-Scantling or slant him, something like this. Again, I like the slant to corner out combo. It doesn't look good aesthetically, but it would still work. And again, against man coverage, it's going to work, and zone coverage would work as well. So some of the other plays we have, I'm going to go in order of plays I like. Slot post, this play is pretty good against man coverage. I do like these wheel routes, and they're not going to be necessarily just great to throw right away, but you can actually kind of play these interestingly and just throw these and click on like that. They're money, very good red zone play. There's very low risk this year in doing something like that. I would recommend getting a big body receiver, Keyshawn, Randy, any other tall guy, Pitts, you put him there. But this happens a ton. Again, it's important to highball. If you bullet pass, easy interception. But this forces them to click on, because if they don't click on, this is going to happen. Even if they do click on, at best they're getting a breakup, especially if it's man coverage because there's nobody else in the area. So you're not really risking a tip interception. And again, pretend that the free safety would be his user, and if it's his user, he's over here. So you'll be fine. And if you do send your running back on a route, then this guy's not in the area. But you throw it up, and again, you can either motion him out completely or you can kind of motion snap him. But again, you throw it up, kind of pass lead inside, and then click on, just hold Y, and it really does the rest for you. So, and again, Valdes-Scantling's not exactly like a Randy Moss. He is a bigger bodied receiver, which is why this works with him. But, I mean, nothing too special. Now, let's say they jam you. It's not really going to have too big of an effect. You still kind of throw it up. And again, sometimes it's not going to work the best. You really want to have time to really just lob it up more. Mahomes put more zip on that. So we'll try it again. It's not exactly the best way to do it. But again, you know, you do it. Holy crap. It's just, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Let's try it again. And I'm not perfect at this because I haven't even really ran tight that often in an online game, if we're being honest. But let's try a little motion snap, and you can kind of throw it and click on like that, and boom, he catches it, he ags him. So you can also do that. It is trickier if they jam you, and Xavier Howard's of course a good cornerback in this league, so it's not working as good necessarily for him. But you can kind of click on like that. And really, just the trick is clicking on immediately. When you throw those interceptions, when I did them, I was clicking on later. So you got to try and click on as soon as you release the ball. It's very important. But you see, every time I'm able to click on cleanly, it happens. And again, worst that happens is a pass breakup. And of course, the higher overall guys are going to catch that more often. Pitt's very good for this. Kelsey would be very good. And again, you can run this with 2 tight ends. I've seen a lot of people do that where they have Parham. And even then you see, again, just different animations. You will throw picks occasionally, but there's a lot of times these corners are shorter. Denzel Ward's versus your big boys, and it's money, especially with the tight ends. So that's not the only thing you can do against with this slot post. He's going to get worried about that. He might throw out zones. He might throw out cloud flats and make a mistake. But what else you can do with this play is kind of run it stock. Something I don't mind doing. You have Juju who's going to get open. He does run a slower route, so I would probably put him on a slant rather than that simple dig route where he's running slow as dirt. So I would probably slant him if it were me. So we'll slant Juju, block the running back, and you have Kelsey on this weird little post route. I like that route personally, so we're going to leave that. But you have Juju, he's wide open, and then Kelsey's going to fry. Now we did get shedded, or we didn't get shedded, but Edwards-Helaire just doesn't block. I should have put in a bigger body. But you saw Kelsey fry the man coverage. And again, if we're struggling to block, something like this, and now we have Kelsey wide open. So very good play right there. And again, we're not getting super crazy with these setups. We don't have to make 20,000 adjustments, overthink things. We want to keep things relatively simple. If I have to go with a setup like this, where maybe I just zig, Valdes-Scantling, slant, Juju, do something like this, then so be it. And then maybe I motion over Hardman, block him, and just snap him right there. So if you have to do something like that, you can. You will still get screamed at, so it's not going to work every time. But you see, you can do some stuff with this and have it work. Now the next play is going to be PA slot cross, and this is going to be an interesting play. It has some play action, which play action definitely, I think, helps the blocking this year with the running back. It puts him in a good position, whereas sometimes when you snap it, he's just freaking clueless. You can definitely go with a max protect on this as well, where we max protect, and Mecole Hardman does get open on this. Now Mecole Hardman's not the best route runner in the world. Ideally, you have Devontae or Cooper Kupp or anyone who's a high overall in this game. In Ultimate Team, in Regs, you probably get a better route running at that spot. But, of course, we kind of mentioned that this spot is the most important for your number 1 wide receiver. Big bodies here, and then maybe a good route runner over here. Although, ideally, you want big bodies on both sides. But he's really just a simple man beater. Make sure you pass lead all the way to the right side, and it should be open almost every single time. Again, he's not being pressed. If you have like route technician, he's going to get even more open on that, which you love to see. As far as with the rest of these guys, I'm fine putting Juju on like a little slant with Kelsey. He's on a streak. He has wide receiver hot routes, so if he has tight end apprentice, you're kind of in the dust. So I would just kind of leave him on a route like this. And then if Valdes-Scantling, if you're not doing anything, you can zig him, or you can just block him, motion block him. So there you have another man beater over here. And again, zig's very good, especially when they're not pressed. There's not really as concerned, and your opponent's not going to be able to really do anything when that happens. So setup like this would be pretty dang good. Just keeping things simple. Again, corner outs, zigs, and slants are your best friends. Keep it simple, guys, and you will have success in this game. Let me know if you also want to see a gameplay on this. Could definitely bring that. Something else I didn't mention is you can actually lob these benches, these corner outs. I'll show drive corner later. It's going to be a deeper corner out, and that might be a little bit better. But let's just go with a complete motion block here so we can get a double team. You can lob these guys up. Now, we got shedded to death there before the corner out even develops, and you will even, I mean, these aren't even pressed, and we're still getting shedded. We blocked 7 there. Now I understand we're rushing 6, but I mean, that's ridiculous. So we'll try it again here. Motion them in. We get a double team there. And you can lob these guys up. Drive corner is better to lob it up typically, but if it's one-on-one coverage, you can definitely try and lob it up. He just doesn't have as much space, so you kind of have to time it really good. It's a high skill gap in this situation. Try it. You kind of have to lob it up there. And again, a lot of times they get bumped like that, so it is risky, but you will have situations where things open up. And also, if they're pressing, occasionally just a simple streak from the wide receiver in the slot, if you have a speed advantage, just can get open. So if you have Moss against a slower guy, that can work. And again, a lot of those jump balls, you can ag them. So moving on to our next play, PA slot cross. PA slot options. I'm not the biggest fan of this play. It does have a deep post for you, but you have no really corner routes. I just kind of threw it in there. Should have put drive corner there, but I did see it in someone's audibles. You have these nice option routes that will beat man coverage with Juju and with Kelsey. Now I put Kelsey on a little streak. The deep post can get open with Hardman in this situation. Excuse me there. So it can get open. We'll see if it works here. It is inconsistent and it takes a long time to develop, so you need almost perfect protection. But you see he did fry him. We just didn't really have the time. I prematurely scrambled out as well, so blame me. But just take a look at the raw route running, and again, the safety is not going to, this guy is not going to sit in the middle of the field. This is because we blocked our running back. For whatever reason, he switches to this. This would be his user in the real game, so there's no concern. But Byron Jones is a good cornerback. It looks like we actually did kind of get pressed there. I'm not sure what you would call that. It wasn't really a press. Look at Juju and Kelsey, though. They both get wide open on these option routes. I love those routes. And he has 5-yard separation instantly. I know that's a little bit of a speed thing. Byron Jones not necessarily the fastest, more of a zone coverage corner. But, I mean, the separation speaks for itself. And it's just a really simple play. With Valdez-Scantling, again, you can block him since he's kind of in the way, but you have Juju and Kelsey on these option routes that fry. They're faster, almost out routes. Out routes are good for man coverage, and you can do a lot with them. So I love those routes this year. And, I mean, I don't really have too many other setups for that play, personally, but these setups are definitely solid. If they were to switch to a zone coverage thing, then you should still have someone open. You have these two guys sitting there, and then you can throw Valdez-Scantling on a needle, and you should be able to recognize regardless if they're in man or zone, so you can set up something better. Anyways, let's hop into drive corner, which is going to be our last play. Now, drive corner and mesh spot are very similar in how they both have the super deep corner out. I think drive corner might be a little bit better, but what I like to do for this play is try and open up Juju Smith-Schuster. So you can go with the straight up max, protect if you'd like, and try and get out to this side, but he does get open. Now, I'm not sure exactly why Xavier Howard just straight up double teamed him there, but let's actually try doing something like this. I'm not sure if that'll work, but, and right there, CH, I don't know if he didn't block, but he just got destroyed instantly, which you do not love to see by Melvin Ingram. I just want to show Juju getting open just once. Can that happen for me, please? Just Juju open once, and look how terrible the blocking is, and then Jerome Baker just decides not to sack me. Like, oh my goodness, dude. He just cannot block him. This is the worst blitz in the game. 2-4, just sending 2 linebackers. It's like not hard to block. It's IDing him do anything. You have to literally ID him every play. Alright, since I can't... Alright, let's just ID him, and then we're just going to move this guy over, see if we can actually throw this route. And... my goodness, this is so frustrating. I'm going to switch running backs real quick, see if that makes a difference. I literally cannot throw the ball. I was having decent success earlier, and now it's just like completely annoying the hell out of me. Well, Jones, I know he's not even a big player per se, but he is bigger than CEH at least. So if that doesn't work, I'm just going to audible 2-man under so you guys can see that it beats man coverage, which is all I want to show. So we're going to max protect. And Juju does get open. Now again, I don't know why there's freaking 3 people over there, so I'm switching it because it's just so unrealistic because the guys don't freaking do that. So you are just going on a spy. You are going on a spy. We'll go with a simple 4-man rush. Xavier Howard, just go in a hard flat and sit in the corner, please. I don't want you. And we'll just block these guys. So should have easy protection there. And he, of course, this time he just didn't fry. Come on, Juju, you got to win the rep. Again, route tech. Highly recommend it, but it does beat man coverage up the field, and you can also lob it. I mean, it's hard to show. Juju's not the fastest on those deep routes, but it does work, trust me. Anyways, that's going to do the video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.